Okay, we want to find y of this differential equation. So what we do is we first have to set it up and integrate both sides with the y's to one side, t's to the other. It's y's and t's. So the way I do that is if I divided both sides by y, you end up with, if you divide this y over, you would get dy over y. And if I multiply this dt over, I get 3/4 dt. So what I did here is I've divided the y over underneath the dy, and I multiplied the dt over, getting this. I now want to integrate both sides. You cannot integrate until you're integrating this side by dy, so you need your y's over here. You need this side by dt, so you need your t's over here, or you have nothing really. Now, could I have put this 3/4 over here, made it 4/3? I could have done that too, but I thought I'd give myself something to go with the dt. What is the integral of 1 over u? It's ln. So this one's going to be simply ln absolute value y plus c, but we're not going to worry about the plus c quite yet. What's the integral of 3/4? Just t, 3/4 t, and we'll put the plus c right there. So that is where we're at so far. Now, next piece. I want to get y by itself, so I have to get the y out of the ln. You have to realize ln is base e, so you can put an e here if you need to. And so you rewrite this one as e to this power equals y. From there, that looks like a decent answer. But we have to rewrite this right here, this plus c. We want to write this as e to the 3/4 t times e to the c so our equation is now y equals c e to the 3/4 t. Okay, now c is a constant in front instead of a plus c now. This is a different kind of constant. The constant gets squished into a multiplier, this piece right here. It's just different. Now, can I plug in 0 and 10 to find c? Yes. So when I plug it in, I get 10 equals c e to the 3/4, and isn't t 0? So what's e to the 0? Oh, sorry, this would be 0. E to the 0 is 1, right? So isn't c going to simply be 10? So my answer is y equals 10 e to the 3/4 t. That would be my final equation. Now, one thing you need to worry about is this, the absolute value. Don't you have to have a plus or minus when you do absolute value? You have to kind of consider that, and it's always tricky, and I always have to rethink this one. But with this one, look at my coordinate. Are we talking about a value above or below the y-axis? So do you understand we're dealing with the positive y? Remember, absolute values have a plus or minus factor depending on which side you're looking at. But this coordinate, we're dealing with an okay value because it's the positive value. For this one up here, which we kind of messed up with, I forgot to mention the idea of, is this a plus or minus? Because you kind of have two equations, if that makes any sense. So this answer could actually be plus or minus in front on this one to some extent, depending on where the parameters of the problem is dealing with, because of the absolute value. The absolute value really does some screwy stuff. We'll talk about that more later. Don't worry about the plus or minus absolute value thing now. I need to get more in depth on that one with you. But be aware they have to watch out for something like that in the future.